Hey folks, blows me away how some agents really don't care about their clients. I'm going to tell you about a recent experience and get into the latest home prices and insights for Peel and Durham for week ending March the 1st, 2023. Here's what happened. With our buyer clients, we went to go see this house. Nice house, over 3,000 square feet, walkout basement, backs out onto a ravine, the kind of house my clients are looking for. And they somewhat like this house. Two big negatives. One was there were renovations that were done, recently done, that were botched up. Like somebody would, we estimate, probably are going to have to spend maybe $50,000 to fix the bad rentals that were done in this house. And they were really bad. So that's one obstacle. Second obstacle is the home, from what we could gather, based on the most recent sales of similar properties in the same neighborhood, the home is probably about $200,000 overpriced. These are the two obstacles. I felt pretty good that we could negotiate the price down to where we needed because the home has been on the market now for more than 90 days. So most people before that would have already done a price reduction. And I figured, we might be catching them at the right time. This is what I thought. So I called the agent to get some more details. Took me 3 days just to speak with this agent through phone calls, texts, emails. We finally speak in 3 days. And I'm speaking to him about the house. And I said, look, we saw it the other day. My clients are somewhat interested, but I got to ask about the rentals that were done on the inside. He says, well, what do you want to know? I go, well, they need to be redone. They're pretty bad. He goes, oh, I didn't know that. I go, well, what do you mean? Like, the minute you look, you don't need a trained eye to know that, hey, some of these rentals are really bad. They were so obvious. And he says to me that he hasn't seen the house recently after the renovation. I go, you haven't seen the house? He goes, well, I saw the house when I helped them buy it, but then they did some rentals, and since I've listed it, I've not seen the house. I was away on holiday when they called me to list it, and my assistant went and took a few photos, so I've not seen it yet. This house has been on the market for 90 days. I don't think this guy's been on holidays for 90 days, but anyways, in my world, you're going to see your listing and you're going to know every detail, but I guess he lives in a different world. So we move on to the price. I said, okay, you haven't seen the rentals. Let's talk about the price. He goes, what do you want to know? I go, well, you've been on the market for 90 days plus. We figured, based on the most recent sales, you are overpriced. Now, I didn't give him a number that we thought he was overpriced. I didn't want to put that out there. I just throwing it out there that, you're overpriced. Are your people negotiable? And his attitude was, well, the price is the price. We really can't change it. They have no choice to sell it at that price because that's what they need to pay off the mortgage on the house. It's like, wow, they're fully, the value of the house is the full value of the mortgage. That's nuts. So we get to talking back and forth a bit. Here's what I find out. He's the one who helped them buy this house. They really, really loved it, but they didn't qualify through conventional mortgage. He set up a private lender so they could buy this house. Now they can't afford it, and they're stuck, and they have to sell it, and the value of the mortgage is the value of the home. There's no playing around. After I hear that, I said, maybe there's some other options. They might have to take a loss. And he says, he cuts me off in mid-sentence. He said, Santo, it doesn't matter. In 1 or 2 weeks, the private lender's going to take over the house, and I'm going to be listing it after that anyways for the private lender. Wow. In my head, I'm thinking, Who are you working for? Are you working for the seller, or is your client really the lender, the private money? Unbelievable. These things happen. Who you hire matters. This guy is in no way representing his client's best interest. He hasn't even seen the inside of the house in the 90 days the home has been listed. Unbelievable. Who you hire matters. If you think this video can help somebody you know, please pass it along. If you get value out of this video, subscribe. Let's get into the numbers. If you want to speak with me about your real estate situation, selling or buying, it's really simple. Below this video in the description there's a link to my calendar. Click on that, book a time that's convenient for you. This way I'll know ahead of time and I'll make sure my schedule's organized so we can talk about whatever's on your mind. Let's get into the numbers. What you're going to see, the problems that we're having between supply and demand, between what seems to be all these buyers that all of a sudden came out of nowhere. Well, they didn't come out of nowhere. They've always been there. And for whatever reason, they're feeling more confident now to get back into the market. But what's compounding that to make it feel like there's even way more buyers that are normally there, there's too few listings. Sellers, homeowners are choosing not to sell their property. I'm not sure what they're waiting for. Maybe better prices, better condition. Maybe they see that what they're going to buy. Maybe they don't want to get into higher interest rates. There's all sorts of reasons why. But the result is too few listings, which compounds the problem of having some extra buyers searching for too few listings. I'll show you. We're going to get into the numbers right now. So before I get into our regular weekly breakdown of the numbers, I have here a monthly breakdown. This is for detached properties. It's for all of Peel region. We're going to compare and look at monthly data here for a second. So February 2023, and then highlighted in black, I go all the way back to February 2019. So currently, we are sitting at an average sold price for all of Peel for detached properties. Average sold price was $1,348,000. Now that average sold price since December, January, February, each month has increased a little bit to now it's at $1,348,000. Compared to February a year ago, well, February a year ago, it's just slightly lower than the peak pricing that we had. At peak, we're at $1,780,000. This is for Peel region, just detached properties. February, we're at $1,751,000. So we're just off the peak. Well, we're currently sitting at 23% lower than where the price was February a year ago. But I know there's buyers, I'm still speaking to buyers that'll say from time to time, hey, I'm going to wait for prices to come down further. We expect prices to be like going back a few years. Well, let's look at that. Let's skip 2021 because we're kind of almost there now. To get to 2020 prices, we have to come down another 20% from where we are now. To get to 2019 prices, February 2019, from where we are now, now remember, we're already 23% lower than the peak. We need to come down another 33% to get to 2019 prices. That seems like a huge percentage. Is it possible? Let me know. Also let me know in the comments below if you're a homeowner in Peel, Mississauga or Durham and you're contemplating putting your home on the market. Let me know why you've chosen not to put your home on the market. Let me know in the comments. Let me show you another chart. Here's months of inventory. February 2023, months of inventory for all of Peel detached properties is 2.2 months of inventory. Going back to February a year ago, we were sitting at 0.8, and from February to July 2022, months of inventory has been increasing. Average sold price has been plummeting, coming down quickly. But then months of inventory is kind of sort of stable, and well, average sold price is kind of sort of been pretty stable for most of the summer. But now this year, from January, February, months of inventory is going up. Months of inventory is coming down, average sold price is increasing. Again, that's all appeal for detached properties. Let's get into the individual cities. So here's Mississauga detached, broken down by week for a whole year. For week ending March the 1st, 32 detached properties were sold. No change from the previous week where we also sold 32. And the week before that, week ending February 15th, we sold 30. So sales hasn't really changed much over the last 3 weeks. Average sold price is sitting at $1,478,000. $1,478,000 is 23% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. Look at this though. This year we sold one at $2 million or more. Same time last year, 23 properties were sold at $2 million or more just for Mississauga detached properties. Let's look at the median price. $1,355,000 is the median price, which is 20% lower than where the median price was a year ago. Now, the dotted green line that separates last year from this year, the other dotted lines this way is a 4-week moving average for average sold price and for median price. And for this year, for Mississauga, for detached properties, both median price and average sold price this year have been increasing since, what do we got here? Over the last 6 weeks or so, 7 weeks. Prices are going up in Mississauga for detached properties. Of the 32 that sold, 31%, almost a third sold at list price or more. Listings, we haven't seen sales really go up that much. Listings also, the orange, those are the listings for this year. The blue, that's last year. Well, last year we could see, which kind of makes sense as we head towards the warmer weather, listings going up. Well, we're not seeing that this year. They actually, from 1 week to the next, went down. And here's months of inventory. For this year, months of inventory has been coming down. It's now sitting at 1.6 months of inventory. That's quite low, very much a seller's market, and average sold price has been going up. That's Mississauga. Let's take a close look at Brampton. 49 detached properties were sold. 2 of those were at $2 million or more. Average sold price up from the previous week, sitting at $1,212,000. 1212 is 27% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. This year we sold 2 properties at $2 million or more. This time a year ago, 21 properties in Brampton sold at $2 million or more. The median price of $1,185,000 is 27% lower than where the median price was a year ago. Huge difference between 1 year to the next. The median price this year has been increasing. So has the average sold price, but not at the same rate that the median price has been increasing. Of the 49 that sold, 39% sold at list price or more. Listings, not a lot of change. We listed 87 for week ending March the 1st. And since middle of January, we've basically been in the high 70s, high 80s. 70 to 80 is really what we've been listing per week. Not a lot of change in listing inventory. This is what I'm getting at. Normally, let me go back. This is what we saw last year and what we see almost every year. Coming into January, as we head towards the spring market, listings go up almost on a weekly basis. Not this year. Months of inventory is lower. We're sitting at 1.4 months of inventory. Months of inventory this year has been coming down. Average sold price has been slightly going up. Now, months of inventory is the relationship between supply and demand. It's not just there's buyers out there looking, there's not enough properties to satisfy the demand, to satisfy the buyer's appetite, and it seems that they're fighting and bidding and competing to buy the few good properties that are out there. Here's Durham region. Now for Durham, I'm using Ajax, Pickering, and Whitby as my Durham sample. 43 detached properties were sold. No property sold at $2 million or more. Average sold price came down from the previous week, sitting now at $1,102,000. $1,102,000 is 26% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. Median price of $1,022,000 is 29% lower than where the average sold price was a year ago. So a huge change in pricing, both for average and median price over the course of the year, but that's no surprise. We knew that. We're comparing back to the peak. We're going to be off. But, for Durham region, average sold price and median price is behaving differently than, say, Mississauga, then Brampton, then York region, then Toronto. It's just behaving totally different. Most areas are experiencing price increases. Durham region is experiencing price decrease, both for average sold price and for median price. I can't 100% explain why, but this is what's actually happening on the ground in the Durham region. Of the 43 that sold, 67% sold at list price or more. That's a huge percentage of properties being sold at list price where prices are coming down. Normally, when the percentage is that high, prices are going up, not in Durham region. Listings, look, they went up for this 1 week, but they haven't been going up by much. 71 detached properties were listed. Months of inventory, 0.7. It's extremely low. So are buyers just not buying the more expensive houses in Durham region? Are they only buying the lesser expensive homes? Is that what's happening? It's bringing it down? Well, that would be okay for 1 week, 2 weeks, but it's been a trend this whole year so far. Average sold price and median price is coming down in Durham. And 0.7 is an extreme seller's market. We would expect prices to be going up because of all the competition. Here are condos for Peel region. 48 condos were sold. No condo sold at $1 million or more. Average sold price went up from the previous week. It's now sitting at $611,000. $611,000 is 16% lower than where the price was for condos a year ago. Median price of $588,000 is 17% lower, and median price is increasing this year, and average sold price for condos in Peel region, has been trending up. Average sold price and median price trending up for condos in Peel region. Of the 48 condos that sold, 27%, so less than a third, sold at list price or more. Listings, 94 listings, we're starting to see an increase. They were coming down for a while, but now, for March 1st, we see more listings out there. Months of inventory, it's quite low at 1.4 months of inventory. Here's a quick summary of months of inventory. It's come down in every region that I'm talking about here. It's aggressive, it's competitive. A lot of that is because not enough listings. Sellers or homeowners, they're not sellers if their home's not on the market. Homeowners are choosing not to put their property on the market. Is that going to change in the next few months? I don't know. We'll see. We're going to report on it, whatever happens. But it's so important with this market to understand that you don't just take a global attitude towards it. Oh, prices are up, prices are down. It's very individual, and you really need to work with somebody that can guide you through this, whether you're selling or buying. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.